Have you missed me? Yeah, come on. I'm still in my suit. I've only just got home, literally, I think about 8 minutes ago. 8 minutes ago. And it's a late one tonight. I apologise. I know that a lot of people aren't going to be joining tonight. It's going to be quite a quiet stream, I'm sure. And, you know, it's been a hell of a day. I know that some of you are probably tired from the match. It's just good to be back and kind of talking a little bit about the game and what happened today, and kind of giving my honest thoughts on today's match. Obviously, not the easiest of games by any means, but then again, it's one of them, isn't it? It's the Premier League. We're in a new league now, and in my opinion, I think Newcastle are a very strong opponent. Very well accomplished, very well molded, very well established. You know, and you have to give them credit. You do. You have to give them credit. And I think people that are saying, "Oh, we were just rubbish," we weren't just rubbish. They're a very good team, and there's some of those players in that team that I think, I think they'll take Newcastle to top six kind of territory. You know, I don't think anything beyond that, but anything for them less than, I don't know, seventh, I think is a failure, you know. So yeah, it's hard. It's hard. I never beg for subs ever, so don't try and put that one on me. I never do that. I never beg for subs. If you want a sub, you can. If you don't have to. I do not mind. But guys, I hope you're all having a fantastic evening. Obviously, a tough one today, but I enjoyed the day out. I don't know how you guys felt about it, but Tom, good to have you here, my friend. Jason, Andrew, Keith. You're seeing more of me than the missus. Well, what can I say? I mean, good thing, right? Zahia, Dale, Chris, Vicky, Kev, James, Eve. Gamer 316. Good to have you all in. I'm surprised there's 54 of you in, to be completely honest. It's really late. We aren't good enough. Okay, Vicky, we'll get to that in a minute. I don't agree with you, but we'll get to that in a second. Keep the chin up. Absolutely. What do you think of the game overall? A sensible question from you there, Dale. Overall, I mean, it wasn't impressive. We didn't win. However, that being said, I don't think we've got an ability problem. I mean, I think we need to make a couple of additions, but I'll leave that down to Steve Cooper. I'll leave it down to the recruitment. I'll leave it down to the owner, because at the end of the day, they, you know, if they ran their recruitment scheme off Twitter, we'd have 25 players and probably about 20 of them would be absolutely rubbish and have just come from one good season in Football Manager kind of thing. So it's, yeah, we're in a new realm now. We're in a tough period. There's going to be tough games, and we're going to be playing teams like Newcastle, you know, every now and then. And we're going to be playing Prem teams every week. Every team's going to present challenges. Even the teams we take the mick out of, Southampton, we take the mick out of Everton. We take, harmless banter, but even then they're going to present issues for us, you know. And I think Steve Cooper hits it on the head. You know, he hits the nail on the head when he's saying, you know, it's certainly not what we're, capable of in terms of the final product. But it's one game. We haven't even gelled together. There's, Jesse Lingard, for example, those people slating him. But let's be completely honest, he wasn't 100% fit. Let's also be honest, he's played however many minutes against Valencia, and that was it. I mean, it's a jump. Valencia are a very good team, but you're not playing for 3 points in that game. So it's a big jump for all those players. A lot of those players don't know each other, and it's really hard. So I'm never going to use excuses. I think there's things that can be improved on, but that you have to look at the fact that we've had 6 first teamers come out of that team. We've put in however many new players today alone, and they've still got to mold together and gel together. You can tell the ones who knew each other well in our squad, but you can tell. But there's places where we can improve, not in terms of replacing players necessarily as a priority, but kind of getting used to the tactic that we like to play. We do, but this is it though. And this is the thing. If the midfield is, and tell me how you feel about this. Tell me if I'm right or wrong. Please tell me. But if the midfield is being completely overrun, how on earth do we expect the attack to do anything, because I know people were saying that Surridge and Johnson were quiet today. I know a few people that were saying this, but how can they not be quiet when they're not getting any reception or delivery? It's impossible. You can't win a game by defending. You can get the point and you can probably scrape it by the teeth, which I thought we could have done, maybe by some chance from that first half performance. I think it was unlikely, but I think we could have. But the midfield was overrun. I thought Lewis O'Brien was good. I think he had a shaky first 15 minutes, but then I thought he really got into the game and he played quite well. I think Jack Colback was fantastic. I think he was physical, sometimes a little bit too much, but I thought he played well, found the right passes, and he was very passionate. So I think Colback did better than people expected. He did better than I expected, to be completely honest. So I'm glad that I was proved wrong on that one. I think Lingard's not 100% fit. I think he started to come a little bit more out of his shell as the game kind of grew into the last kind of half of the second half. And to be completely honest, I don't think it was a terrible performance from some of our players. That being said, they need to get used to each other, because we can't have a group of 11 individuals on that pitch. You don't win games by that. You don't win games by 11 individuals on a pitch. So that's where it comes to just gluing them all together and then hoping it'll work. The first 3 or 4 games are going to be difficult. They're going to be tough, but that's why we've got to keep supporting them, keep cheering their name. You know, you saw it with Awani at the Valencia game. You know, you shout his name, you give him a bit of motivation, and he'll come and do better. And I thought he did. I think he added a physical presence up front today, not quite pacey, but physical. Something that we needed against a fairly physical defence in Newcastle. So yeah, I think there's improvements to be made, but don't feel sad. Feel happy. This is a ride. Things will improve. You've just got to have faith. You know, look how we all felt at the start of last season. You know, I'm not saying that's going to happen this time. I don't think it will. But if you judge the whole season and based off one performance, I worry very, very much for you as an individual, not just in football but in life. You've got to give it time. So let's have a look at some of these comments, though. We're definitely good enough. There's quality in that team. There's ability. But things need to change. Mangala was good when he came on. He's physical as well. I like it. Is Morgan Gibbs-White deal over now? 100% not. But there's one thing that needs to happen. And I want you all to know this. This is not a secret. This is not an in the know. Because there's some journalists that will say, oh, I'm in the know, or I'm this. Let me just say, it's a load of rubbish. Okay. Some of the people that are making these accounts saying that they're in the know are actually fake accounts. So just keep that in mind. Just check where you're coming from when you repost and retweet, okay? Journalists make mistakes as well. But as Paul Taylor said to me, I spoke to Paul Taylor from The Athletic today, and he said, I never post anything until I know it's 100% true. That's why he's so consistent and everybody trusts him, because he never, ever does it unless it's true. Always gets it, you know, one of the first to get it, but he never does it unless it's true. So I wouldn't say the MGW deal is over. There's still something there. There was apparently his brother was getting into a fight with Wolves fans, calling them C words, and I would say the real world, but monetization and all this. C words, getting into fights with the Wolves fans. This is what is being reported by Wolves. Some fans concerned with other things as well. So what needs to happen now is there needs to be a transfer request. Unless Morgan Gibbs-White does that, I don't think we'll get him for any less than 50 million. Not what I wanted to tell you all, but unless there's a transfer request put in and his agents have a bit more authority, we're not going to see much more movement on it. That's how it's going to go. That being said, keep the faith. Who knows what will happen? I mean, a loss against Leeds, who I think will actually do better than many think. A loss against Leeds is not a good result for Bruno Lage and Wolves as a whole. So it's a bummer. It's down on their motivation. So it's a shock to their system, considering they were doing quite well early on, and then they came to draw as the half went on, and then eventually lose. So it's tough. It's tough. But no, deal's not over. Newcastle are an example of a team made big changes. Yeah, exactly. And you know what? You've got to give quality. You know, you've got to give credit to them, because they've been in a championship setting after doing okay in the Premier League for a number of years, and then they've gone down and had a really rough few years. You know, and they've come back up and built a tough team. And yeah, okay, they've got new owners and whatever, but they've spent, I don't know, maybe 60 million on 3 players. You're looking at Sven Botman, good player, Nick Pope, good player, and Matt Targett, another good player. who they had on loan and then bought in. So fair play. I think Kieran Trippier is really good. I think he looked just complete. I didn't see him make one mistake. So they've got established players there. And but this is it. They've got a lot more experience on us. We've got 23 years out of that top flight. You know, in that time, they've been relegated and come back up. So it's tough. Even hope you're well. Opinions on our formation, having 2 wide strikers in a cam, don't see us like last season. It depends on the game, I think. I think a formation change may have been needed. It'd be interesting to see how they play it. I think you could probably test out a few things and it'd still be okay. But they did their homework. And then, but Surridge and Johnson weren't getting the delivery because the midfield was overrun. I think in another scenario where Forest have a stronger midfield, that wouldn't have happened and the formation would have worked. I think that formation just really relies on having a really strong midfield. A midfield that's up to standard to compete with these big teams, not just a decent midfield and then a really good attack and defence. It needs to have a good midfield. Need a Zinchenko, similar player, not him though, I don't think. He gives his all, doesn't he? I like Zinchenko. I was gutted when he left, but that's just how it is. Good to see you home safe. Thank you very much. No beers for me tonight. I was at work. You know how it is. Tom Morris, evening. I hope you're doing well. Don't panic. Newcastle. Tough game. We need to get it. We'll take a few games. Absolutely, I think 3 or 4 games. Yeah, and people having a meltdown on social media just need to chill out a little bit. It's all going to be okay. They just need to chill out. You're panicking way too much. But don't expect too much. Jamie's trying to tail down Dor. Now, I don't know why people keep thinking this. Me and Dor are not rivals by any means. Me and Dor are friends. We travelled to Newcastle together today. We went to Berlin together. We've been traveling together and doing things and talking to each other for months now. So no, there's nothing between that. I think that was daft. We're going to lose more than we'll win. It's a possibility, Keith. You're in a tough league. You're playing against world-class players. I think that Saint-Maximin is going to be something special. If Newcastle can keep hold of him, which if they get top 6, they will. He's going to be something really special. And people that were complaining about how much they paid for him, they don't know the player that they paid, that Newcastle have bought by the sounds of it, because this guy's special. He's pacey, he's skillful. He presented problems for, I think it was Nico Williams or Toffolo, one of the two. And we'll talk about Toffolo later as well. We'll talk about all of it. Need number 10, yeah, definitely. I think Gibbs White could do that. That being said, there's a lot of other things that could be improved as well. But it's one of them. It's one of them. It's partly because of ironically to Tavernier. Well, look, Bournemouth had a good game. Fair play to them. They had a very good game. But we need to focus on our results. Because that's when people start to become frustrated, and that's when I start to not enjoy talking to Forest fans, when they start worrying about other teams' results, or we're just trying to beat Bournemouth, or we're just trying to beat Fulham. No, Fulham and Bournemouth had good games today. They played really well. They showed off a good side. Liverpool looked almost scared of Fulham at one point. Fulham, that first 10 or 15 minutes, explosive. I was sitting and watching it in Newcastle, and it was just incredible. So fair play to them. They brought in good players. Bournemouth, I was a bit shocked at that result, but they did play well. So yeah, it's one of them. Only 3 points off the top, you know how it is. Still only 11 points off Derby's record. Yeah. Don't think that formation is going to work in the Prem, but this is it. If we strengthen the midfield properly, maybe a Morgan Gibbs-White and maybe a Houssem Ouar as well, that'd be quite good. People must get this result into perspective. We lost our first game back in... Yeah. Howe's a very... he's doing good. He's got good resources at Newcastle. He's got an already very good team. They've got a good team. That's not me saying that Eddie Howe's not a good manager, because I think he's good, but they're a very established team already, and he's only had to... you only saw 1 2 new additions in that. Well, I say 2. You only got 1 real new addition in Nick Pope. Matt Targett's been there for a season. Oh, yeah, match of the day in 10 minutes. We might be. I know people might be dropping out. I hope you do stay along. But yeah, Huddersfield fans are, well, you know, that's how it goes. Huddersfield fans, they've been all over us today on Twitter. But who's bottom of the league in the Championship? Not us. But it's one game. It's one game. So, well, for them, 2 games, which they lost against Birmingham as well, which was quite bad. But that's a different one. Social media is tough. Don't let the negative. I'm not really bothered by it. I mean, this Dale person here, I'm going to call you out for it, Dale. If you want to come and jump on this stream, my friend, you just send me a message on Twitter. You know my Twitter handle, and we'll get you on the stream. I'm not really that bothered. Fake profile. I'm not trying to be the next Mr. Door. For anybody that doesn't know, I wasn't solely. I mean, this YouTube channel isn't solely for Nottingham Forest. You probably don't know that. It's just for anything that I do in journalism. So if you don't want to watch it, please don't watch it. But yeah, no, it's early doors. But if we don't get it together sooner rather than later, then we are in trouble. It does. And Bribina Spring, I don't think you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong. But as you say, it's early doors. If you make those assumptions 5, 6, 7 games down the line, maybe a little bit more concerned. Coming up to Christmas, obviously a concern. But first game? Nah, I don't think so. I don't think so. Jack, we're having a pants pulled down. Well, Wolves, yeah. The 50 million is 100% that. It's 100% that. That being said, you know, if you've got that valuation placed above your head and you want to leave, well, there's only going to be one thing coming out of that, and it's likely a transfer request. Because if he really wants to get this move done, then that is only going to make him want to hand in that transfer request even more. So, you know, it's a tough situation. It's a really tough situation, but give it time. I think he'll hand in that request sooner or later. I mean, if Wolves lose the next one as well, 100% I can see it happening. We'll get on a good run, then the World Cup break will happen. Don't even think ahead. Let's just think about that West Ham game. Let's think Steve Cooper style. What's he going to be doing? What's he going to be training? All sorts. Tell Wolves to do one. Yeah, I mean, I wish I could tell the whole fan base to do one after yesterday, but I expected Forest to lose because we got to gel together. I mean, look, nobody expects to go in. Nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to think we're going to go into a game and lose. But unfortunately, you're playing against a team like Newcastle. We all were optimistic. I'm an optimistic person. I was going in there thinking, let's go for 1-1. I don't mind that. Let's go 1-1. You know, I'm happy with that. But obviously, Newcastle just the better team on the day. And anybody that says they weren't hasn't watched the game. So, yeah. You just got to give it time. The team will gel. It will take time. And you've got to be prepared for that. If you're not willing to wait for this team to gel and see the true potential, then please do not let yourself take up a seat that somebody else could be sitting in. Because you need to be a proper fan. You know, you've witnessed all the good times throughout the last few months. Now you've got to witness some really hard, challenging times. And there will be good times coming soon. But they're going to be challenges. There's going to be times where you feel really on edge. Most games, every game, I've never felt so on edge. It was like being back at Wembley again today at Newcastle. You know, I didn't feel the nerves walking into the stadium, but as soon as I sat down, boosh, got a coffee, and I was like, whoa, I can't do this. You know, it's a big league, biggest league in the world. You got to remember that. Remember how far we've come. Jacob, doing what you're doing, you endure. Thank you, Claire. It means a lot to me. A few daft people, but not really too bothered by it. We'll be okay. Another couple of editions. We played a top 6 side today. Yeah. Mention the away fans. Well, if I'm not going to talk about any of our fans based on something I didn't see. I didn't see anybody leaving early. Okay. Like 20 minutes, I didn't see that. So I don't want to go on to that, to be honest. So yeah, I'm not going to talk about anything I didn't see. If you guys saw it, you can talk about it, but I'm not going to talk about it. We've got to believe in our way of play. Yep. Yeah, believe in it. It's worked and it will work again. So don't worry. Neil Palmer, that name sounds familiar. I'm sure I know a Neil Palmer. I do know a Neil Palmer. It's one match. Have faith. Neil, you know it, my friend. Keep the faith. We kept the faith in Cooper for most of that season, and look where it got us. You know, keep the faith, everybody. Huddersfield, get a grip, lads. Okay. God, yeah. Huddersfield, I'm not really. Don't focus on other teams. Focus on Forest. It's good to have banter on Twitter, but sometimes it goes too far. Just enjoy yourselves. Enjoy the ride. Fans are, pathetic at times, you know, but people are still riding the hype of Wembley, which I understand because I did that in pre-season against Barnsley. I was still on that high from Wembley, but you've got to be realistic and say to yourself, do you know what? As much as we want to go out there and just absolutely batter teams because we've signed 12 players, it doesn't matter. It's how you turn up on the day. It's how you turn up on the day. And we couldn't turn up that well because of the fact we haven't gelled, because of the fact we're against a top 6 team that is going to shock many big teams this season. And because we've still got to make a couple of additions. It's not an excuse, but that's how it is. That's how it is. Pretty sad, to be honest. We were too slow today for me when playing out of the back. But this is it. And I know that people are going for performances of players, and I try not to be too negative about player performances because people have bad days. When I play football, I have bad days, and I get really upset when I have a bad day, you know. And just because you see them on the pitch and they look happy or whatever, you don't know how they feel when they get home. They're probably punching themselves thinking, played rubbish today, or, you know, I didn't do what I thought I could do, or, you know, they're feeling a load of emotions. You just got to keep getting behind them, even when times are really tough, you know, because there's a couple of players where I thought, do you know what? I thought maybe we could, I think as a team, as a collective, and this is to do with gelling, and this is to do with not fully knowing the tactic or the team as much, is just like getting rid of the ball a bit quicker. And I don't mean just getting rid in terms of putting the long ball in and hoofing it. I mean, looking for the pass. Like Newcastle, you can tell they're an established team because they've got the vision. They just find the pass so easily. And that's not something that you can do so easily. So for me, just passing the ball out a little bit quicker. I know that Callum Wilson made it difficult for Dean Henderson, but he was trying to play mind games, trying to get into their heads, trying to annoy them, get them aggressive. You know, and that's so hard to admit because I don't like seeing Forest lose. And that's the only time I've commentated on a league game where Forest have lost. And, you know, and I was upset at the end, and I was really upset, and I was proper down in the dumps with it. But then I just put a smile on my face and just said, we're Premier League. You know what I mean? We're Premier League. I'll have that forever. No matter what, whoever says to me. I don't care. I've spoke to loads of Newcastle fans today. And I just want to say as well, if there's any Newcastle fans listening to this or do listen to this, you've got one of the most kind, accommodating fan bases in football that I've ever known. We were walking through Newcastle city centre, and the only people that swore at me were Forest fans. Yeah, you know, there was people on a Forest bus that were just giving me the middle finger, or, you know, all the Newcastle fans pulling over, fist bump you, good luck for the season. How are you, pet? You know, and all this kind of, you know. Yeah, you know, a nice fan base. Gutted about the result, but, you know, that starting atmosphere was something. And you Forest fans singing, you know, throughout the game, even when we were losing 2-0 and things looked bleak, you were still singing, you know, and that's testament to the club we are. So thank you for all of you for making this club the club that we all love. 2-0 down and we didn't stop singing. Says a lot. Thank you, Ribena Spring. Means a lot. We try our best. Jay is a red. Oh, I love it, mate. Thank you. I'm a red. Come on, I'm a red. Any truth in this Benfica striker? I know there was an approach made by Forest, but Benfica want £37.5 million pounds. It's around 40 million euros. I'd do it. I think he's a Champions League striker, Europa League striker, whatever. I think he's got quality. I think he's got potential. He's young, pacey, got a good shot on him. I think he could work well in our squad, but it's how much money they want to spend, whether we'll 100% need him. Positive note, yeah, Riley Harbottle scored the winner. He did. Congratulations, Riley. As I say, his dad used to coach me at Dunkirk. I know I've never met Riley in person, but always hear good things, and he did really good for Mansfield today. So congratulations, Riley Harbottle. First goal for him at Mansfield, got their first 3 points of the season as well. So a very good start from him. Very good start from him. He's one of our own. Big thumb down, expecting us not to be whipping the boys, then having a poor. Yeah, look, it's going to be tough, you know, but we have those days where it's going to be tough. But this is the first day of our Premier League, you know, our new Premier League history. So, yeah, it's tough. It's tough, but we'll learn from it. We'll learn from it. Well, I thought Newcastle were great. I don't think they're top six. I think they're 6th, 7th place. I think they are. I think they have a very complete midfield. I think Joe Linton's fantastic. I mean, as I say, St. Maximin is unreal. Callum Wilson did a job as well. When he's fit, he's quite good. Dan Burn was good as well. I think as a team, very, very good. Nick Pope did what he needed to do. So, yeah, you know, it's what it is. Ben, am I the only one who feels like a playoff final team? Yeah, no, I don't agree. I don't agree. In terms of ability, I don't agree. But they were molded together. They had, like 6 months or to a year worth of experience with each other for that match. Some of these guys, like Mangala, they've been here a week in training. They've been playing training games. What the hell are training games compared to a first-team Premier League match? They're nothing, you know. So, nah, I don't agree ability-wise. But in terms of molding together and the team know each other, then yeah, you know. But yeah. I thought O'Brien looked promising. He did. He did look promising today. I think he had 15. Well, it must have been the first, I don't know, 15 minutes. I thought he was a bit shaky. Won the balls, but then he lost it. But then he started to play for the. The kind of free kicks a bit more, and he did really good. So I'm really pleased for Lewis O'Brien. I think he'll shock a lot of people. I think for 10 million, you've got a good player. But I just want to put this out as a disclaimer. I said this from the start, so say what you want. But I said Lewis O'Brien from the start. So when you're all going, oh, he's a great player, I love Lewis O'Brien, just remember who said this. Okay? I said this. I've been saying this since the stream started. I've been saying this since Wembley. I've been saying this since we played them in the FA Cup. I've been saying this. Just seen the Forest with Tree with 2 stars on the Match of the Day titles. Gotta love it, ain't you? Gotta love it. Watcher09, thank you for your comment as always. Always keeping it nice and positive, my friend. Have a bit of that. I don't care, mate. Newcastle press was next level. Both Worrell and McKenna struggled to find their man. Yeah, I think Worrell was up against a really tough. I mean, as I say, I keep mentioning he's Alan St. Maxim. You just saw Worrell just turning around all the time and all this kind of. It's like he was being turned inside out. That's why you need someone just behind Worrell, just ready for that run that he makes, just to slide in. But it's tough. It's tough. I really, really like Worrell, but you're going against a competitor like that, it's really difficult. But I saw him just after, and I said hello to him, and I said hello to Nico Williams. They both looked really upset by the result. Not angry, but they looked upset. And then I saw Eddie Howe doing his Sky interview as well, just after in the media bit. And yeah, you know, so it's tough for them because they, you know, especially Worrell, because he's come through the academy and he's always been a Forest fan. But that happens. That's the reality of the game. But it's one game in. Can't judge him off that. I mean, Nico Williams looked battered when he came off, bless him. He looked battered. He looked so tired. He'd given his all that game, and fair play, because he was playing up against some top opponents. So Hihos New, Freuler will come too. Yeah, I know there's rumours going around 10 million euros. He'll be coming. I think he joins from Atalanta, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sorry, I'm still in my suit. I really need to get changed, don't I? But this is what happens when you go straight from a car to doing this. Do you think we'll get another proven Premier League player? Tough to say. I think we'll probably get. I'm still confident we'll get Gibbs White if the Wolves form doesn't quite go as well this month. We'll have to wait and see. We've only got a month to sign him, so a lot needs to happen in that you know, the next 25 days or whatever. I think by the time Newcastle come to the City Ground, it'll be a completely different game. 100%. When we next see them, different team. different team. We're going to lose a lot of players in the Prem. So we're going to lose a lot of games in the Prem, sorry. But we have to keep supporting the team and just go, just realise that it's going to be tough, and maybe we will have to, we're going to have to watch games that we really don't want to have to watch. Yeah, Bruno was good for them as well, Owen. I agree. Really, really good. Really, really good. But this is it. They've got a complete midfield. So we don't have that. If we did, it would have been a much different game. That was a game of the midfield. That game was. If you controlled the midfield in that specific, like, if we had a better midfield there, then obviously it would change a lot. Of course it would. But yeah, it'd be a 50-50 kind of situation. I know it's always going to be tough to beat a midfielder at Newcastle, but Forest just had a little bit more gelling together in time to play, and maybe the odd new player there. I think they really would have given Newcastle some difficulty, because when Surridge and Johnson have got the time, I spoke to Surridge's dad before the game, and he said he was really nervous. He was really nervous, but he's a nice guy, Surridge's dad, and he just said he's so glad to be with Steve Cooper. He loves him. Yeah, doesn't matter who's up front. Yeah, they needed service. Impossible to get when the midfield's overrun, which isn't really the fault of the midfield if they've not really got the ability there. But that's something they'll work on. Thank you, Brian, for your comment. It means a lot to me. And the only way I can see Gibbs White deal being, I think he will hand in a transfer request. That's not me saying he's going to or anything, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. But I can see it happening. I can see it happening. Henderson was good. Midfielder's good striker, but Henderson really was good. I don't think people look at the goalkeepers enough, but he saved a lot of shots. And that Fabian Schär shot that went in, he couldn't save that, not long enough. And the Callum Wilson goal, you couldn't save that either. So whatever, like, it happens. It happens. They did really, really well. I think Dean Henderson did. So fair play to him. He's really, really, really solid. Fulham only drew their game because of a penalty, but equally though, James, and we can't be salty on this. I think Fulham played quite well. So regardless of the penalty, look at Chelsea. They only won because of that penalty in the 9th minute of added time or whatever. So, but yeah, I mean, poor performances they do, but this is the first game in. Maybe coming up to November, December kind of time, then you kind of look at it. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. You should let me join. We'll throw some sense on the situation. You can join if you want. I've not got a problem with that. I really haven't got a problem with that. Did you go to the game today, Water09? Did you go to the game and support your team today? Did you go and do that? I can't imagine you did. I think Mbeso will get a run at centre half quicker and better. Yeah, possibly. I like Worrell a lot though, and I think he does contribute a lot to that team in terms of things he does off the ball as well. So, but I think Mbeso could get a run in. It wouldn't surprise me. I love that Foyler plays European football. Exactly. Steve Cooper, but he says to the player, he doesn't go, oh, well, I think we're going to do this, or he goes, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to execute it, and this is who we're going to need to do it. And we think you're part of that group of people we need to do this. We need you to stay up. Then we'll have a look at the Champions League or not the Champions League, the Europa League or the Europa Conference. We'll be looking at those big games and thinking, we need you for that. So, yeah, it's, that's how it is. If Wolves are struggling, Forest struggle, why would he come to us? Pointless move. Well, because you don't know if his heart's in it. I mean, neither do I. I don't know if his heart's in it at Wolves. Because at the end of the day, both teams could be in bad form, but he still might want to play for Forest. Forest could be in worse form, and he still might want to play for Forest. You wouldn't seem logical, would it? But if you don't enjoy it at a team, like when I moved teams when I was younger, team I went to a league, and this is by no means what Morgan Gibbs White would do, but it's a situation. I moved 3 or 4 leagues below to play because I wanted to play football. And I wanted to, even though they were in worse form, it was more fun to play there. I knew people that played there and it was nice. And since then, I've always loved it. So it's the same situation. You know, these are normal people. These are normal people. You know, you could go to a job that doesn't pay as much, but you enjoy it more. That's how, you know, that's how it is. No, yeah, they played well as well, but well, I mean, yeah, your views on the Peno, that's it. But I thought credit to Fulham. I think they did okay. But absolutely, what other teams do doesn't matter. Focus on this. Focus on this. They're having problems to break the defence. The only long-range shot breaks the ice for them. Yeah. Wazza will grow into the armband prem-wise. Yeah, I think he will. You know, I think equally, he's going to need a couple of games to adjust to Premier League life. And he will. He will do it. He will do it. Struggling. Yeah, it's only been one game. Exactly. And negative people, go. Please leave the stream. Or join me on here. You can if you want to. It'd be good to talk to some of you. I've sent Ez an invite, so hopefully we'll see him come and have a quick chat with me very soon. Let's have a look. Our main priority this season is stay up and build from there. Absolutely. The owners are ambitious. We know that. Spent a lot of money. They're going to spend a lot more. Probably another 50 million, I would say. And it's what's necessary to you know, keep the club in a good position, you know, and keep them in the Premier League. And why would you be annoyed at that? You know, just let them get on with their jobs. Just let them get on with their jobs, because I see people tweeting the Marinakises or whoever every day, just do this, do that. Let them do the jobs. They know what they're doing. They know who they want, and they're working on it, you know, probably more than you would think. But yeah, it's one of those. George Hook, kind and useful comment as always. I would just ask if you can just try and keep it a bit relaxed in the comments. You know, I see a bit of abuse going on. Just please leave it out. We're trying to keep this to a good discussion about Forest, because it's the team we all love. And I'm not coming here for a moan about Forest, by the way. This is not what we're doing. Hopefully, Az is going to be joining me in a minute. But not here for a moan. Not here for a moan. I'm just, you know, dead set on what we want to do. Talking about Forest, talking about the team we love, and yeah, you know, that's how it is. That's how it is. So let's keep talking, even if it is controversial, even if it is negative. Keep talking, but let's also try and be respectful of other people that have different opinions than others. Up for it, Jay. Maybe not tonight because of negative Noras. That's okay. You can join me anytime you wish, Tim. Shippo, my friend, you're a good man. Feel free to join me. You got me on Twitter. I worry about Worrell when Williams goes forward, his lack of pace. I mean, there's a lack of pace, but maybe just a bit more preparation for that, potentially. But yeah, Watcher09, congratulations. You have been blocked from the stream. Goodbye. God, getting on my nerves. Sorry, there's only so much I can take of that. I don't mind people coming on and having a different opinion, but that's just too much. Small glimpse of Mangala today. It was positive. He'll be really good. Just needs to get used to that team, and he seems to have done quite well considering his first game. Look what Nearcarte put on his. I don't have Instagram, so I didn't see this, but Nearcarte, a bit scared at first. I think he thought it was a bit ropey at the start, but he really did show his good physical sense, and you know, he uses his head. You know, he did really, really well. So, yeah, we could have done with a few more weeks of preseason, couldn't we? That would have been nice. But the players, some of these players been doing international, like Brennan Johnson, so he's not had a break, really. So, really, really tough. Really, really tough. Thought Davis would have fit into the system today. We'll ask guys what he thinks about this in just a moment. Sorry, I didn't want to block him because I don't like blocking people unless they're spam accounts. I don't really like doing it because if people have different opinions, then I want to let them have those opinions. But just a bit too far from me. But Ez, we're going to add you in. He's raring to go. Boom, he's here. How you feeling, Ez? His game.
All right, mate. How are you? I feel like Scrappy Doo, mate. Let me at him. But don't worry about the haters, mate. Ignore the haters. We're bloody it. We've got nothing better to do. But we're going to enjoy it, mate. Did you have a good day overall? It was a long day, I know that.
I love, yeah, it's a long day. We'll have a chat about that probably tomorrow. But yeah, it was a good day. It was a good day. I just want to give a big shout out to Steve Alderman, and Erin, Jake. You're probably in bed now. You should be in bed. For accommodating me and Dor in the car, because it was honestly an absolute pleasure, and I'm so thankful for the lift up, because it's not around the corner, to be fair.
No.
But it was, as much as I enjoyed today, a little bit upset, not angry, not disappointed. I'm just a bit upset because we lost. Natural feelings. But how are you feeling after that result? Expected, or what are you thinking?
I think it would have been hard for any of us to have predicted a defeat. I went for a 1-1 draw in my predictions last night. And I don't think anybody would have predicted us to lose the game. But in reality, that was always going to be a really tough challenge. First game in the Premier League against a team which, if you look at the stats, I think since Christmas, if I've got this right, only Liverpool and Man City got more points than Newcastle. So they're a form team coming out of last season, coming into this season. They've been blended fairly well. We've kind of slightly gone under the radar, but like we say, the form table doesn't lie. So they're a form team, and that atmosphere in that stadium was, something mesmerizing at times. I could hear it very clearly, and I could hear our guys as well. Absolutely brilliant to hear the Forest fans. Mullock and Tyre quite clearly over the noise, and yeah, it was brilliant to hear. But it was always going to be a tough challenge. And in reality, we would have been lucky to get anything out of that game. But it was a harsh reality. But when haven't we bounced back from defeats last season? Every single bounced back from, and I'll see improvement. I won't see the same mistakes that we made today, I don't think. And we did in general last season. We did make mistakes in the odd few games, but you never saw those repeated too often. Yeah, we'll learn from today. And, I can't be upset about it. I can be realistic. But it's the first game in a very long season, and at any point of the season, if we'd had that game, we wouldn't have been guaranteed any sort of result. But, they were very good. They were actually a little bit profligate in that first half. Probably should have scored a couple of chances going into half time. But they definitely carried on that momentum. I thought we'd actually turned the tide, got to the hour mark and they hadn't scored. I kind of thought we'd turn the tide, and maybe you could hear the fans dull down a little bit, but then I
thought we were going to get a draw.
Yeah, at that stage, I was really happy to see that we were still 0-0 and thought we could kind of hold out. But they found another gear, which teams in that level are going to find another gear. They're not going to be the team we're competing against this season to stay up. So I'm not disappointed. I wish obviously we'd played better, and we'd at least, there was a small spell where we got a couple of chances, ball through to Lingard, but it was a great block from their defender, so that was one of our bright spots. There was a couple of times we almost got in. But no, not disappointed, just realistic about what we have to face going forward. It's not going to be a walk in the park as hopeful as we all are. And it will get better, but it will be a good start, I think.
Well, listen, it's going to be really tough. And it was a hard game. Newcastle, as I say, I think they're going to get Europe this year. I don't think it'll be Champions League. I think it'll be probably Conference or Europa. But, that's how it goes. That's how it goes. And David Johnson, I know you said you were sad on Twitter about it, Kel, but he said he was obviously disappointed with the result and the performance, but it was never going to be easy. And I agree, because I spoke to him before the game and I sat with him, and Surridge's dad as well, who I think looks like a rugby player, by the way. I want to just say, I'm sure he looks like it could be a rugby player. Yeah. 100%. A big guy. But such a nice guy, and he was so honest and just talking about things. And they were all nervous. Their kids play for Forest. Do you know what I mean? Their kids play for Forest, but they're adults, obviously. But so nervous, but so proud. Do you know what I mean? And it was just so nice to speak to them about the game, and and obviously they knew Newcastle was a good team. I knew Newcastle was a good team. What more can we say? The result's obviously not what you wanted it to be, but that's how it is. Now, I've got a bit of news for you all. Now, from what I know, just from hearing things through the grapevine, from a few people within football. Okay, there's a moth flying around my room. Just trying to get them off. There you go. I'm multitasking now. The Premier League club has gone in to sign Valencia winger Gonzalo Guedes. Now, people, if you don't know him, number 7 when we played them, unreal. Now, from what I'm hearing, that game happened because Steve Cooper was looking at a player.
I heard that.
This is what I'm hearing. You heard about this?
Yes, I heard that was why that's why they'd arranged that Valencia pre-season game. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know. This is a fairly well-known rumor. This is a fairly decently well-known rumor. I'm not in the know by any means. I'm not, because if I was in the know, I would not. I'd probably be at the Athletic or something like that. I'm not in the know. No way. But from what I'm hearing through these rumors that are going around, and obviously take rumors with a pinch of salt if you wish, but I'd say there's something in it, and it's all very interesting that now a Premier League club has been linked with Guedes, and Forest just happen to be looking for an attacking player. That's all I'm saying. I think that's interesting, because if and I'm going to block Dale as well. That's Dale that's got a block there as well, everybody. Big well done to you, Dale, out there. You got a block as well. Daft comment. But Gonzalo Guedes, good attacker. Some people saying that Goncalo Ramos doesn't actually want to join Forest. So it's, you can't, if you don't want to join, even if you do offer 40 million, if you don't want to join, there's no point. But Gonzalo Guedes, who knows? Maybe he would want to join Forest. I know that Valencia missed out on Europe and they didn't do too well. So, they've got financial problems as well with the owners over there in Spain. So maybe he's just wanting a new start, and potentially Forest could be the team to offer him that. I'm not by any means saying that it will be them. I mean, a lot of people are saying Wolves or West Ham. Fabrizio's not said what team, but I'd keep tabs open for it, because that seems fairly, that could be a possibility if that's what they were looking at. Either him or Jesus Velasquez. So, yeah, there's 3 fake accounts going around, by the way. They've all been blocked. So goodbye, everybody. It's good to have the nice and also the people I can just have a chat with here. Now, let me talk to you, because I think everybody played okay today. I think that Jack Colback did better than I expected. So I'm glad that he proved me wrong. I think that, and as Max Goodwin says, Guedes got 11 goals and 6 assists last season. And he does, and he's quite quick, so that's good. But back onto the question, I think that it wasn't an awful game, but the midfield was overrun. Therefore, there couldn't be any delivery to the attackers except from the defence. And let's be honest, you're not going to see Sam Surridge or anybody else winning a ball against Dan Burn or the other centre-backs. It's not possible, because they're taller and more physical, right? Everybody knows that. Most strikers wouldn't be able to. Long balls are hard to pull off, right? But who do you think that Forest really need to add into that squad? Or what do you think they need to add into that squad to make it better? Or do you think it's a case of just letting them gel together?
That's got to be a part of it, hasn't it? Letting them gel. But they do need the time. They've had no time together at all, not in competitive games. And it will be a learning curve for them. But I was interested when Mangala came on. He did add a bit of weight to the midfield, and I'd like to see him potentially start against West Ham and see how he fares. Yeah, you're absolutely right. We got overrun in the midfield, and there was no chance to link strikers. The odd time, in fact, early on, a couple of Hendo's kicks were getting out to Nico Williams, and he was finding space down that right-hand side, and it looked like there was some potential. But yeah, unfortunately, yeah, we ended up resorting to the longer balls. Their pressure, their high pressure was so good. Newcastle looked very nervous that first half an hour or so. He was very nervous. He a couple of times where he's taken extra touches, and the extra touches did him no favors. Got him in trouble. So it was a bit of a shaky start. But you can't read anything too much into it. Cooper will know what he's working with, and he will know how to get the best out of them, and he'll point out what's wrong and what's right, but he'll do it behind closed doors. There's no need to call anybody out, and there's no need. And he was asked a question, and he said, yeah, he actually said Niakate was decent. He had a bit of, had a bit of a sticky patch, but he said all the players did.
There's places where it can be improved. 100%.
Yeah, there has to be, and there will be. Even if we'd got a result, there'd be room for improvement. Yeah, we can't read too much into a first game and be too negative about it. Certainly not. You got to look at the entire situation. I jokingly said, we're 3 points off the top of the Premier League. Imagine saying that 12 months ago. So
yeah,
come on, guys, wake up.
Well, let me just say to you though, is spending £40 million on a striker actually the key to it? Because for me, I think even if you did have a £40 million striker today, yes, it would have made a difference. But the midfield was still overrun. Where's the delivery coming from? If you've got a striker that can skill past the halfway and bring it through that Newcastle defence, I think a massive striker would have done a good job today. But do I think it's all we need? No, because if we can't solve this problem by spending 37 million on Ramos, I've said this, or Guedes or whoever, right? If we go for Guedes as a number 10, possible we can do that, and then a striker, I think that'd be unreal. But whoever we get, right, we can't just buy Gonzalo Ramos or Guedes up front, playing the 9 or the 11 or whatever, and then just expect them to score goals, right? We have to have a midfield there, because otherwise you're just spending 40. And this is a lot of the case with strikers that move to new teams. They'll go there off the back of loads of good goals and loads of good records, and then all of a sudden they stop scoring and people are like, hold on, this guy's rubbish. But in reality, that team's midfield aren't winning any of the balls. So how on earth are they going to get delivery? So for me, you've got to spend 30 million on a good striker, 40 million on a good striker, and then another 25, 30 on a good midfielder. That we're going to have to do that. We're going to have to do that.
Absolutely. And if we're going to persist on playing out of defence, we need to give our goalkeeper, our defenders, better angles and better options. There's only a few times in the second half, I think once the game was gone actually, but you saw O'Brien picking it up in space and actually moving forward. We've got to be braver on the ball. I think actually we really missed the 8C today. He's proved he is a lot braver on the ball. He will try and get through a few challenges before trying to knock the ball forward. And I think we missed that definitely today. And we weren't given the goalkeeper the angles, to play the ball out. If you're going to play that way, you've got to be a lot more mobile and, like I say, brave on the ball. Be willing to take it when, you might have one player around you, but we didn't see enough of that today. So I think, that's stuff they're going to work on. There's no doubt about it. Cooper knows. Cooper will spot it straight away, There's no doubt. There's not going to be any stone left unturned.
Willie,
like I said before, we've always bounced back from our defeats under Cooper, and I don't see that changing.
Well, absolutely. No, I agree. I mean, we've got to have the faith. Me and you have the faith. Does everybody in the fan base have the faith after one game? Some actually not, which concerns me. But he's not as nervous as people make him out to be. He says he's not scared. He's just ready for it. Our bench showed us that we're short in terms of quality in the bench. I mean, in terms of rotation, there's definitely more people needed. But if you get another 2 midfielders in or whatever, then you're going to see a bit more quality in it. So, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see on it. I mean, and I just want to say in regards to the Guedes rumours, I'm just saying in regards to what we know or we've heard, and then what's going on now. So I'm not saying by any means that he's joining Forest. He's probably going to go to Newcastle or Arsenal. If he goes to Newcastle are going to be unstoppable. So, but yeah, if he goes to Arsenal, which I think he probably will, then Arsenal as well. they'll be. I mean, look, my fantasy Premier League team. I just want to say, 44 points up today. I'm pretty happy with that. Nunez got me like 16 points today, Ez. So what can I say? Now, let's have a quick look at some of the comments. Jamie, I'm going to ask you the same question as if you had a choice of Dennis Anoir or Morgan Gibbs-White 40 million, who are you taking? The answer is straight and clear for me. Dennis Anoir. Because you've got the backup striker kind of, attacking role, and then you've also got the attacking midfielder kind of role as well there. So for me, I think you'd be daft not to take the 2 players for 40 million instead of the 1. How do you feel about it? Because I know that you were someone that kind of, although you had, you scrutinised and you looked at the price that they were putting on Morgan Gibbs-White and had your opinion, you still said that 30 million is you'd pay for that. What about 40 million or potentially 50 million?
Yeah, I'm not going to get into those games with them. No, definitely not. We're going to stand our ground. We're going to be realistic with what his value is. I'm not going to be bullied by Wolves. So they can push him up to 100 million if they want, but if we're not willing to pay it, it's literally pointless. It's like Alan Partridge negotiating on his own. It doesn't work. So that's what we'll end up doing. But I don't. Yeah, we're not going to play that game. I can't see us being stupid with our money. We'll be the players, the guys behind the scenes. They'll be smart with the money. They're not going to. He is a quality player, but there is a limit. And like I say, if we're not going to pay it, nobody else is going to pay it. So, like I said, they'll be negotiating with themselves if they price him out of the market. Because who's going to pay 40 million if we're not willing to? So, yeah, that would be an absolute waste of time from their point of view. But if hypothetically, if it's the option of getting 2 players for 40 million or trying to get Morgan Gibbs-White for that price, yeah, absolutely, I'd go with the 2. Because Dennis, I've told you, I really like him. He reminds me of Brendan Johnson. He reminds me of Brendan Johnson, and I think he's a very good, versatile player to have. Yeah, and he's got the experience of the Premier League, and he had a really good start to last season. He just tailed off after Christmas for whatever reason. But he's definitely got potential. He's got bags of pace and trickery and good. He's good with both feet. Really like him. And Aouar is someone that I've always had on my my FIFA teams and all that sort of stuff. He's a very good player. I like the way he plays in midfield. Reminds me a little bit of I think his name's Nasser Chadli. He used to play for
Yes, Nasser Chadli. He was a good player.
He was a good
player. He West Brom for a bit?
I think he did go. Yeah, he went to West Brom after first, didn't he? Yeah, so he's a player. Reminds me of him a little bit. I know he was quality in the Premier League. So yeah, I mean, hypothetically, yeah, you definitely take 2 over the 1. But Morgan Gibbs-White is not it's not dead in the water, and I think he'll be resurrected probably on deadline day, and that's when we're going to get him. And we're not going to be paying 40 million on deadline day for him. No chance. But we'll have done a lot of business before that. I'm sure of it. You got to listen to how clearly Cooper answered that question from Colin today. He said, "Yeah, we definitely need players in," and he's been bullish about that since the Notts County game. So that's not changed. And what it did show, like I said, it highlighted what we're lacking today, and it kind of like it's just a little nod towards to the owner saying, "Look, this is what we need. These are the players." I'm sure we've got the players to fill those needs. They just got to get the deals done, But there's players coming. How about it?
Yeah, there's 100% players coming, but I don't see Morgan Gibbs-White coming in until he hands in that transfer request. That's how I think it is. So maybe the owner's best strategy now would be to get Forest players. You look at Dean Henderson. He wasn't shying away from the fact that he was messaging Lingard every day to tell him to come to Forest. Dean Henderson knows Morgan Gibbs-White. All the lads know Morgan Gibbs-White from international or whatever. The owner's best strategy now would be to be telling them, get on at this guy. Get on at this guy. Message him. Tell him what Forest brings to your life. Tell him what Nottingham's like, and encourage him. Maybe he wants to go. Who knows? JNS, Newcastle, and Taylor. Oh wow! I've heard that me and Ez are being added to the coaching staff. So that's just what I've heard, because apparently we need to teach them corner routines. I'm joking, but that corner was an absolute embarrassment. That was. Sel Johnson. Oh come on! No. How many goals last season? 19. That's just goals. Yeah, we're not talking assists or anything else.
Absolutely.
So over a 20 goal contributions last season. So if Morgan Gibbs-White had over 20 goal contributions last season, how come you are willing to say that we should get Morgan Gibbs-White, but you think we should sell Johnson? That doesn't make sense to me, because this near on the same amount of goal contributions, and also Johnson had just come back from the loan, I think the year before. So he's gone from League One football or League Two or whatever it was to Championship football, high level Championship football, now to Premier League. How often do you see a player make that jump? Almost never. Almost never. And
let's not forget his international contributions in between as well. He's already doing that at international level as well. This is not a player that we should be even talking about getting rid of, But people will make some silly comments, but we're going to stay positive, aren't we? Because the sensible thing to do is, after watching this team under this manager for the last year, expect the unexpected, and be positive, because that's what he's going to be. And there's no doubt about it. The club's heading in the right direction, and this one defeat doesn't change that direction one little bit, So it's, I think some people are just literally got nothing better to do on a Saturday night, except
well, no, because I mean, to be fair to now that Saucy, he's been on the channel for a while. I don't think he's a fake account by any means or anything like that. He's an okay guy, and I'm sure. And you say, sorry, it's just your opinion. You're allowed to have your opinion 100%. I just think for me, it's a bit crazy. And I mean, I know that you say Graben scored more than him in a season. I don't know what season you're referring to, by the way, but Lewis Graben didn't score more than him last season. So, yeah, 19 goals for what, 21-22. Incredible. Standout, pure quality. He stopped a lot of doubters, and I put out a thing. I deleted it soon after, but people that were like, "Oh yeah, nobody doubted Brennan Johnson." What? Are you serious? Nobody doubted Brennan Johnson. They 100% did. They 100%. People doubted Brennan Johnson. People doubted Ryan Yates. People have doubted so many players, but all of a sudden, fans are going, oh, "Nobody doubted them." Nobody doubted. What do you mean? Have you not been on Twitter? Have you not been on here for? Have you not seen the doubt that these players and the abuse that some of them are getting for certain games? Ridiculous. And I'm not saying by any means that I'm not trying to put you down, but in my opinion, I don't think selling Johnson is even a thought. I don't even think it's a thought. It would be no way. Do you think a formation change is needed? Now, as we're approaching the last 15 minutes, the last 10 minutes of the show, because I do want to get some sleep tonight. It would be nice. So these are the last 10 minutes. It's going to be Q&A. As quick fire answer, do you think a formation change is needed? Yes or no? It's going to be quick fire Q&A for the next 10 minutes.
No, I don't think it is. I don't think we need to panic right now. He did switch it a little bit when he took Niakate off and switched to a flat back four. But no, generally, I don't think the game plan needs to change or anything really. We just need to get better at it. It doesn't need to change. It worked well for us.
Oh, okay. So that's so. What do you think about this Freuler? What do you think about the rumours for him? He's plays for Atlanta. He's got Champions League experience, Europa League, whatever. How you feeling?
I don't know too much about him. I've seen a few clips, and he does look classy and silky on the ball. Any addition that the club think or Cooper and Dane think is going to add to what we've already got, I'm 100% behind it. There's a lot of players I'm not going to know about. I'm not a scout. I'm not privy to all that. So the ones who are, I trust them 100%. There's not, we're not going to get not every single signing that we make this summer or over the next couple of windows is going to hit the mark. It just doesn't happen. But the majority of them have been, will be, and every single one of them has been scouted correctly. So we're not like I've used the term before. We're not shooting fish in a barrel. We're calculated in who we're going for, and we've definitely picked out the players that will suit our system. We're not buying players and making them fit into a system. We're buying players that already play in that system, that will suit that system, or potentially it would be an easier switch for them into the system that we play. So no doubt about the recruitment side of it, not at all.
Okay, so we're looking forward to West Ham, as Forest Ham says, and as Joe said, they need to reach those levels quick. How are you feeling ahead of that West Ham game? Because it's a lot more than a football match. Because I know that TalkSport, they're going to be all over that, aren't they?
I'm really looking forward to it. I'm hoping to be there, so it's going to be an occasion. Results wise, I'm not going to predict anything just yet, but I think we'll see some business this week. I'm sure we will, and we'll see a bit more time for the players to do. The benefit of this league is that you're not going to get too many Saturday, Tuesdays, Sunday, Wednesday games. You do get the week to do the preparation, to spend time on the training field, which was something that Cooper's really big on, and that's where he's going to make most of his decisions. So we have got a good week of training ahead for the club, for the players, and yeah, we'll see what happens. I think it's going to the atmosphere, the occasion is going to be amazing,
Yeah.
absolutely amazing. So that's going to play a part, and we will play the 12th man. I guarantee you, the fans will play a part next week. We played the part today. We just something just wasn't right, and it was like I say, it was a bit of a rude awakening today. But we were against a quality opposition, and we can't deny that for 1 second. We're not. I'm not a huge fan of Newcastle, but I've got to admit when we're beaten by a better team, and I think people said as much.
Yeah.
100%.
No, I 100% agree. Very, very good side, Newcastle today. Now we'll take a couple of more questions before we go. But yeah, as James said, look, if you can like and subscribe, I really appreciate your comment. James means a lot to me. James has a channel as well. You can just click his profile and it'll come up. But yeah, if you can like and subscribe, goes a long way. I want to be bringing you some more content as we go on, and and other stuff will be happening as well. Trying to get a few interviews with people as well if I can. The Gary Birtles podcast, which I've been talking about for ages, we're finally getting a date done. Because Gary's now my best friend since we share birthdays, apparently. So there you go. But like and subscribe if you can, because I know at least a quarter of you minimum won't be subscribed and you'll be listening new. So just drop a subscribe. Just click that red button. It goes a long way. Do you think we'll start to recruit players with Prem experience? It's hard to do because a lot of these players will be, the players that we would want either aren't doing too great now, and perhaps are older, or they're already in a good Prem side, so they wouldn't want to leave. Not saying that's the case for all of them. You look at players like Angelino, who's at Man City for a little bit, but he's going over to Hoffenheim in Germany still. So it's not easy to recruit from the Premier League again. But yeah, I thought that was a bit difficult, as kind of one of the last questions, and this is what the last question we'll ask of this evening. So, what do you think about that? More Premier League recruits, difficult to do or not?
It is difficult to do. I think we managed to get two of the best that were available with Premier League experience in our goalkeeper and in Jesse Lingard. So it is going to be difficult, and I think it's not. Also, it's not very cost effective either. There's going to be a premium on those players, attached to it automatically. So there's going to be this. It's a rebuild anyway. From the squad that we had last season, this is a massive rebuild anyway. So it would be very naive for us to think it's going to be gel straight away. It's going to take time, but like I said, the benefit of having about weeks training in between the games is going to make a big difference. It'll make it a lot quicker for that to happen because that's where he gets all his shape in. That's where the players get to bond a lot more, and that's where magic will start to happen. But it will take a few weeks. We might have to just struggle through this next month or so, but no negativity from my point of view, because I've never seen us not bounce back from a defeat, and learn something from that. So the Cooper will, the players will, and us as fans have to as well. We're not gonna abandon our team after one defeat. No chance, you know. So let's be realistic about it all, and let's be positive, because next weekend is going to be huge, you know. And you hear the noise all over the city, you know. I'm sure the only other time possibly that I wish I'd been there, but I missed, was Stuart Pearce's first game, and the atmosphere that day, because my good friends were there, and they said it was like unlike anything they'd witnessed before. But semi-final against Sheffield United was an unbelievable night, you know, and that showed how the 12th man does make the difference, you know. And hopefully it will next Sunday, but hopefully it won't need to. Hopefully we'll get off to a better start, and it will be a more comfortable game in terms of our possession. And we do need to hold the ball a lot better. You know, we didn't have any possession at all in that first half. I didn't see the stats, but I'd be very surprised if we had anything of 15% possession in that first half.
Well, listen. I mean, 38% possession overall. It's not the best, but it was one of them games today. Newcastle were a very good side, and from what I can take from our conversation, there's things we can improve on. There's things we will improve on ahead of that West Ham game. We're going to have a home advantage of some form. The noise next weekend is going to be amazing. Just as James said, it's going to be incredible. So brace yourselves for impact. Enjoy yourselves. And, you know, more importantly, just be positive. Just try and be positive. Have faith and get ready. Yeah. But listen, it's been a pleasure to bring all of you some chat with me and Ez. There'll be more of it next time. We'll have an hour and a half, 2 hour podcast with me and Ez next time. I'm thinking I need some rest. I got work in the morning and I've been traveling all day.
Amazing how many people you had on tonight, but yeah, we've got a lot of late hours, so I don't think we mind the late streams as long as we've got a bit. I'm like you, mate. Like I mentioned to you earlier, I was like a little kid at Christmas. I've been up since 5 a.m. this morning, and I didn't have that cat I said I was going to have, so I do need to go to bed as well. But thank you everybody for jumping in today, and you know, it really does mean a lot, and you do really engage really well. And thank you for all the guys from here that jumped on our stream last night. With Joe and Liam, that was brilliant, and we had Dave Asprey on as well. It was a really great show. So if you haven't seen it, please catch that. But please support Jay, because he's a star. You know, he's a star in the making. You know, so you can say that you knew him first. You know, you never know. Hey, he'll make it.
Ez, I love you, brother, and Ez's channel is amazing. Ez's personal channel really good as well. So just, you know, Forest Fan Hub, is it that you've got?
Yeah, Forest Fans Hub, guys. So yeah, please follow us on that channel. I will put something out on my own channel as well soon, because I've had a few requests, so I want to keep that going as well in the background. But you know, I'm keeping myself busy, and I'm more than happy to jump on with Jay anytime he wants me to. You know, and I love talking football with him and all the guys in the chat as well. Thank you, guys. Thanks for everybody who contributes.
Top man, Ez. Top man. Well, listen, it's been an absolute pleasure. It's an absolute pleasure to have brought the stream to you. I can't answer any more questions because I'll be on it and I'll keep going. Thank you very much, Adam, for your comments. I'll probably answer these in the morning. So if you do leave a comment under the video that's not in the live chat, and I'll answer them in the morning. I do try and answer as many as I can, as well as working and other things. So, but yeah, have a fantastic end to your weekend. Have a great Sunday. I'm on the radio on Monday as well if you want some cheering up on Monday morning. But as for tonight, it's the finish. Newcastle United 2, Forest 0. We're feeling okay, though. It's all going to be good. See you on Sunday, everybody. Sunday night. Take care, everybody, and have a fantastic